unpacking and using the Bluetti EB70. Some pros. It's small and lightweight. It's powerful, 700 watts, 716 watt hours. It's well made, and best of all, it has a lithium iron phosphate battery at a very good price. There's some cons. The tiny lights showing that DC and or the AC power is on are far too small to see in outside light, and the charger's fan is loud. Okay, now for some details. Bluetti contacted me about my order, asking whether I would like a red EB70, which they could ship immediately, or wait for the steel gray one, which I had ordered, which was currently out of stock. I replied that I was happy to wait. My order arrived a couple weeks earlier than expected. The outside box was damaged as well as the inside box. What does FedEx do to shipments? Fortunately, the Bluetti was well packaged. Even though there was damage to the box, there was almost no damage to the power station inside. Opening up the box, there's on top a few documents. The user manual is pretty limited, and it assumes things like that the user can figure some things out without instructions. Before first use, it's a good idea to fully charge the battery. When mine arrived, it was 60% charged. Next is the box with the AC charger and the cables. It's nice that the cables are included. There's a power cord and then a charging cable for the car. It's well made, 16 AWG wire, but it's only 28 inches long, not including the length of the plugs. That's too short depending on the location of your car's 12-volt auxiliary port. Maybe the cable is short to reduce power loss? I don't know. For example, on my Prius, the only place the Bluetti can be plugged in is in the front auxiliary port with the Bluetti sitting on the floor on the passenger front seat. That's not ideal, especially if that auxiliary port is already in use with a dash cam, GPS, phone, etc., like on my car, or if you have a passenger that wants to put their feet there. There is a second auxiliary port inside the center console, but this charging cable is too short to reach if the Bluetti is in the back seat. So you'll either need to install another 12-volt auxiliary port in your vehicle or get an extension for the car charging cable. The solar charging cable is 60 inches long, not including the length of the plugs, and also 16 AWG. It has standard solar MC4 connectors and looks well made, and there's a Velcro cable caddy strip, which is a nice touch. Now the power station itself. It weighs 21.2 pounds on our bathroom scale. The carrying handle folds neatly into the top, out of the way, making the top flat. That's really nice. The wireless charging port on top is turned on when the DC power is on. It works just fine and should charge iPhone models back to iPhone 8, as well as other wireless devices capable with wireless charging. The fit and finish is very nice. One of the things that has been said about the Bluetti is the loud noise of the fans when it's charging. So I'd like to give you a demonstration of what that sounds like. I'm talking in a normal voice at this point so that you can compare the sound of the charger. So I'm going to charge, I'll plug in the charger and you will hear that fan. The charger fan blows all the time whenever it's plugged in. Now I'll plug in the Bluetti. And you could hear the Bluetti also has fans that kick on when it's being charged. It seems like those fans kick on whenever there's 100 watts or more being pumped into the Bluetti. If you think it sounds like a vacuum cleaner, yeah, it sort of does. Not quite as loud. As the power station approaches 100% charge, the power station's fans turn off, but the charger's fans continue to run at about 44 decibels. The charger got barely warm while charging, only about as warm as a person's hand. On the bottom of the charger brick, it says that the light will be red while charging and green when fully charged. This information is not mentioned in the instructions. While charging in my car at 100 watts, the Bluetti fan kicked on. It wasn't loud enough to hear while driving, but I could hear it while stopping. The power station was in the back, behind the rear seats. The instructions explain how to set the AC output frequency to 50 or 60 hertz and how to turn on or off the eco mode. The eco mode will automatically turn off AC power after 4 hours if there is low or no load in order to save power drain. This also affects how long the screen display stays on. With eco mode off, pressing any of the 3 buttons turns the display on for 30 seconds. With eco mode on, the screen display will stay on only a few seconds. Other data is on the box and on the back of the power station. I have a folding portable solar panel from Ames Power rated at 120 watts and a max of 5.5 amps. In the late afternoon, pointed directly at the sun, it charged the Bluetti at 70 to 100 watts. The voltage from the panels was 27.1 volts. The charge controller in the Bluetti starts tapering off the charge as the battery reaches 100% and shuts off power from the solar panels when it reaches 100%. The lamp on the front has 3 settings. Medium, showing 1 watt. Bright, showing 2 watts. And flash. It does not flash SOS. It flashes TTU, long, long, short, short, long. Is that Texas Tech University? I'm not sure why the light is placed on the front of the unit. I think it might make more sense to be on the side, so when carrying the unit in the dark, it shines ahead, like a flashlight. I find a flaw in the design are the tiny switches for power buttons, DC, AC, and for the lamp, with tiny green lights, which, as others have said, it's hard to tell when they are illuminated. You've got to be looking directly at them in the dark. During the day, it's pretty impossible to see whether they are on or off. This is on. That's off. Guess, on or off. Best practice is to plug something in to see whether there's power or not, especially power from the AC inverter to the AC outlets. If left on, the battery will slowly drain. A question I've been asked is whether you can charge at the same time it's being used. Here, it's being charged on my car at 100 watts, and at the same time, running my refrigerator at 30 or 34 watts. So far, I've been very happy with the Bluetti EB70, using it for camping, especially to run my refrigerator. I also use it for a backup for lamps at home. I would highly recommend it.